And so it begins, the preseason opener for 2025 here at Levi's Stadium. 49ers have made a roster move just a few hours before kickoff against the Denver Broncos. They needed another running back to get through this game, so Ke'Shaughn Vaughn, who spent 2024 on the 49ers practice squad, has been signed. The 49ers waived Zach Johnson, offensive guard, who has been with this team through training camp so far and maybe back after this game. As we know, Christian McCaffrey's not going to play. Nothing wrong with him. It's just the first preseason game. No Brock Purdy either. Isaac Guerendo's hurt. He has the shoulder injury, and Jordan James broke his finger, so he had surgery. He's going to be out about a couple weeks. So the 49ers are going to give Corey Kiner a lot of carries, but they're going to need some other running back help in that room behind Kiner and Amir Abdullah, and that is Ke'Shaughn Vaughn. So that is an expected move that the 49ers made, and I'm sure there are going to be plenty more moves after this game. 49ers will head to Las Vegas next week for a joint practice against the Raiders and then a game against the Raiders. As you can tell, it is hot, bright here at Levi's Stadium. That's how you know that it is the preseason. It's what, August 9th? So we've got a while to go until it cools off a little bit. Fall time here, probably get warmer before it gets colder. Bay Area, we know how that works in September and even parts of October. But tonight, get ready to see a lot of the young guys. Unfortunately, Michael Williams got hurt the other day at practice. We'll get an update from Kyle Shanahan after this game. I'm sure that's going to be some of the more pressing news for the 49ers, and hopefully they can get through healthy. Same thing for the Denver Broncos. That's very, very important in the preseason, at the top of the importance list, because you can evaluate players in practice. There's certain things that you can't evaluate in practice that the 49ers are obviously going to be looking for here. This is going to be the first chance for some of these rookies to tackle at the NFL level. So Nick Martin, can't wait to watch him play. Can't wait to see some of the defensive linemen, Alfred Collins, CJ West, Sebastian Valdez, don't forget about him. They've been calling him the Hulk. QB battle, well, it's for number 3. We know that Mac Jones is going to be the number 2. They brought back Tanner Mordecai yesterday, so we'll see plenty of Mordecai. We'll see plenty of Carter Bradley. But you know what we won't see yet is the paint in the end zones. That's not coming until the regular season. It will be close to dark by the end of this game, so I do wonder if the new stadium lights are the light show that I showed you guys the other day. I do wonder if that's going to be a thing today at Levi's Stadium for a touchdown maybe late in the game. We've seen some week 1 preseason games with dramatic finishes. Brock Purdy has helmed a dramatic finish to a preseason game. I forgot if it was week 1 in 2022, but a lot of people were introduced to Brock Purdy, including the 49ers themselves in the preseason. I think that's when it was very serious that, okay, this guy might make the 53-man roster, and he did. So you never know what's going to happen, who's going to emerge in some of these games. There's some intense lighting here. Look, if I go this way, you're never supposed to shoot against the sun, but I think that the lighting might be actually a little bit more friendly when I'm moving this way. The fans, I think, are going to be let in a few minutes. I always try to get these videos done before the music starts playing on the loudspeaker. Nice and quiet here at Levi's. Some of the best grass in the NFL. 49ers will be playing on this grass, 10 years, 11 years after it was the laughingstock of the NFL. It wasn't good grass. Jim Harbaugh wouldn't even let his team practice on it back in 2014. So they have done a good job ameliorating that. Anyway, CJ West, Alfred Collins, Sebastian Valdez, I'm pumped up about that. I am fired up about Nick Martin. Upton Stout, I would think, is going to get some time for the 49ers today. The veterans and, everything surrounding established superstars, that was all taken care of on the Thursday for the joint practice. And we've talked so much about how that went. 49ers offense started out slow. 49ers offense picked it up. That was good work for the 49ers against the Denver defense that may end up number 1 in the entire NFL. Again, they were number 1 last season. So competitive practice, and I'm sure today's going to be a nice competitive game. But you're going to see a lot of the younger players, the less established players. As the 49ers, it seems that they're just around the corner from getting a little bit healthier. Some important names like Renardo Green and Jacob Cowing are slated to return this coming week. Thursday practice against the Raiders, and then the game after that. So the 49ers just want to hold tight where they are. They want to get through this as healthy as possible so that they could start seeing the available roster numbers increase instead of decrease. They've had to make a lot of transactions over recent days just to get through this training camp, and it's an epidemic around the whole league. And it's, something that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to continue into the regular season. Training camp is just tough these days because, guys are coming in from their off-season training programs. They're not always going to match up with exactly what the 49ers are doing in the building. You see a lot of hamstrings. You see a lot of those small muscle injuries. And you have to get through this part of training camp, get through the acclimatization to football shape in one piece, and then you can move forward into the regular season as healthy as possible. Offensive line today. This is going to be interesting because I don't expect Colton McKivitz to play. Of course, no Trent Williams, but I don't expect McKivitz. Even if we do see McKivitz, it's going to be for a short while. Spencer Burford and Austin Pleasance. One of them is going to be on the left. That's Burford. Austin Pleasance is going to be on the right side. And both of them are specializing right now. They're not running a swing situation. They're not running them like Burford right tackle as well, Pleasance shifting over to left. They think they're better off, each of those guys, at those two respective positions. And with Andre Dillard still on PUP, physically unable to perform, that may be the swing tackle setup that the 49ers go with. It would take an extra 53-man roster spot, though. So we'll watch to see how both of those guys perform in front of all the 49ers backup quarterbacks who do play today. I know they're not going to be facing the best that Denver can bring defensively, but technique can still be put on tape. Hungry defensive players are still going to be taking part in this practice for the Broncos, and this will be a good next gauge for how the 49ers are going to build their roster. Cutdown day is what, August 26th? We're at August 9th, so we're just over 2 weeks away from cutting this roster down from 90 to 53 players. As you can see, 49ers bench is behind me. Broncos bench is over there. It's going to be a little toasty here. I think it's in the 80s, but first game day update of the season, I figured I had to bust out the blazer anyway. And, I'm not even sweating so far. Had a cold water swim yesterday. Thought that I was scared to come down to Santa Clara today. 85-degree weather, but I think it'll be fine. I just don't think I'm going to be hanging out here on the field all too long. So offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, Upton Stout, but in the secondary, I mean, he's a glorified linebacker in a way with how physical he could play. Maybe we'll get to see some real physicality out of Upton Stout today, given the fact he can finally tackle. We know he could cover. He's been awesome in training camp. Now it's his time to tackle. And of course, the move made today, Ke'Shaughn Vaughn, is going to help fill things out, that running back position. But my big prediction is that Corey Kiner, undrafted free agent out of Cincinnati, gets a lot of work this preseason. I think he's going to lead the 49ers in touches, at least rushes, and rushing yardage. But Ke'Shaughn Vaughn is in to back him up, and Zach Johnson waived. If he clears waivers, he might be back with the 49ers next week. All right, everybody enjoy. Preseason is here, so it begins.